Welcome to the Funding Opportunity Announcement Overview for the National Institutes of Health Common Fund Program, Harnessing Data Science for Health Discovery and Innovation in Africa, or DSI Africa for short. I'm Laura Pavlich, a program officer at the Fogarty International Center at NIH, and I'm also the co-coordinator for this new DSI Africa program. Throughout the FOA overview session, you'll meet other program officers involved in this trans-NIH program, and I hope potential applicants will find us a useful resource as you learn more about DSI Africa. I also hope you've had the chance to view the keynote video from Dr. Francis Collins, the director of NIH, which describes the great potential and vision for how DSI Africa will support African leadership and partnerships for data science and health innovation, research, and training. Okay, so let's get started. DSI Africa has a goal to spur new health discoveries and catalyze innovation in healthcare, public health, and health research on the continent through application of data science. The NIH Common Fund will support a consortium of awardees to meet this goal over the next 5 to 10 years. The DSI Africa program consists of 4 funding opportunities that were recently released. These include data science and innovation research hubs focused on key health problems, data science training programs, research awards for ethical, legal, and social implications of data science research, and an open data science platform and coordinating center. These are represented here by by concentric circles representing each of the initiatives, with the open data science platform and coordinating center, which pulls everything together. These funding opportunity announcements use the cooperative agreement mechanism. Each award will have both an NIH program officer who has oversight responsibilities for the award and an NIH project scientist. Under the cooperative agreement, the role of the NIH project scientist will be to support and stimulate the recipient's activities by involvement in and working jointly with the award recipients in a partnership role. In each FOA, you'll see a section for terms and conditions for these cooperative agreements, which outline the responsibilities for the principal investigator, NIH, and collaborative responsibilities. DSI Africa as a whole, across all 4 funding opportunities, has some common objectives. The first of these objectives is consortium participation. DSI Africa will be organized as a research consortium that brings participants together in a highly collaborative and synergistic effort. All of the awardees from DSI Africa will be participants in the consortium, as well as responsible NIH staff. And groups funded under this initiative would be expected to participate and collaborate effectively to maximize the chances of overall success for the program. The PIs of each award will be active members of the DSI Africa Steering Committee, which will guide the policies and procedures of this consortium, and will also meet regularly and in person twice a year. The second objective of DSI Africa is partnerships and collaborations. A major objective for DSI Africa is to enhance the impact of data science on health in Africa and spur innovation through support of new African and global partnerships. Collaboration within the DSI Africa Consortium will also be facilitated, and this can include cross-consortium research projects, involvement of the research training programs with the research hubs through mentored training experiences for trainees. The LC awards are expected to collaborate with the research hubs to explore and address issues that are specifically relevant to the data science projects within the consortium. And the open data science platform will enable discoverability and accessibility of the data and resources from the consortium and provide a core set of tools that really enhance collaboration. Another objective of DSI Africa is data sharing. The consortium will develop a data sharing and access policy within 1 year of the award that applies to data and resources funded with NIH support. The policy will address data sharing needs of the consortium while also safeguarding the privacy of research participants and protecting confidential and proprietary data and resources. One of the roles of the open data science platform will be to facilitate data and resource access and sharing, and all DSI Africa awardees will be expected to work closely with this team to facilitate appropriate alignment of their activities. Another major objective of DSI Africa is community engagement. We recognize that ongoing community engagement and the building of trust relationships with research participants is a very essential feature of effective and ethical biomedical and population-based data science research. Awardees are expected to incorporate relevant community engagement activities into their data science research and research training activities. And these can include those activities that engage diverse stakeholders to learn about and contribute to DSI Africa efforts in data science. And a final objective of DSI Africa is data science capacity building in Africa. This can be seen through the research training programs, which will build individual and institutional data science capacity, through the research hubs and LC research projects, which will provide a variety of training and career enhancement opportunities to young investigators through mentored research experiences. Also be seen through the research hub pilot projects, which we expect to provide opportunities for early career data scientists to initiate small research projects, and through the Open Data Science Platform and Coordinating Center, which will enhance activities conducted by the other awardees in the consortium by developing short courses that are relevant to data science and innovation. And finally, I leave you here with a number of resources that I hope you'll take advantage of as potential applicants for this new program. On August 10th, we'll hold a funding opportunities interactive session, which include question and answer period, breakout clinics on grants management advice, a live demo of Assist, which is an electronic application process, and advice from grant recipients and peer reviewers. We plan to have FOA specific office hours on August 20th and 21st as part of the DSI Africa Virtual Symposium platform, and more information will be on the website. I also highly encourage everyone to read thoroughly the application instructions, which are found both in the SF424 application guide and in the instructions for each specific funding opportunity announcement. I also highly recommend that everyone start their required registrations early, since this process can take a while. We've provided information that potential applicants can access regarding NIH peer review and videos that can be watched that explain how this process goes. And I highly recommend that everyone interested in applying rely on the contact information that will be provided for the NIH program officers, grant management specialists, and application submission support. We're here to answer your questions, and I look forward to interacting with you more throughout the symposium.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us to run through these funding opportunity announcements associated with the DSI Africa program. My name is Brad Newsom. I'm a program officer here at the Fogarty International Center at NIH. And along with my colleagues represented in the videos here, as well as across the institutes, I'm very excited to talk with you about the DSI Africa Research Hubs program. As I said, the Harnessing Data Science for Health Discovery and Innovation in Africa, which we call DSI Africa, the Research Hubs program is a U54 specialized center cooperative agreement mechanism and clinical trial optional award. And if you would like some more information, I do hope that you've already looked online at the funding opportunities, but you can just type into your browser the funding opportunity number, which is RFA-RM-20-015 for more information. Overall, this is an incredibly exciting program that forms in many respects much of a heart of the DSI Africa program. And its primary goals are to spur new health discoveries and catalyze innovation in healthcare, public health, and health research in Africa through application of data science. This is a broad goal, but the research hubs are much at its core of advancing data science health research and innovation in Africa and supporting new African and global partnerships that enhance the impact of data science health research. Key to this, as Laura mentioned earlier in her presentation associated with the broad view of the DSI Africa program, one of the key elements is how we engage diverse partnerships across government and industry and other organizations, including your academic institutions, that can partner to provide synergistic expertise, collaborate on research, and support data science linked to new technologies and solutions. But at its core, this is all about advancing population relevant, affordable, acceptable, and scalable data science solutions, and in the long term, demonstrating the ability of these solutions to improve health in Africa. There's some really exciting, very broad opportunities associated with this program, and we do not want to stifle your innovation when you are piecing together applications. But what we believe to be vital to the success is interdisciplinarity, pulling together diverse teams from the biomedical sciences, computer sciences, engineering, social sciences and behavioral sciences, and many other fields to address complex problems from their component parts through your really engaged collaborative team. Each of these projects should be focused on a critical health research area that is germane to your local or regional area in Africa. And we're hoping that these will all be addressed through data science and innovation that is contextualized. Another really great opportunity associated with these is the ability to look at cross-cutting opportunities across different areas of science, data sets, of diseases, or you can look more specifically at a disease-specific area of interest, or you can look at data-specific areas with a slightly less focus on the disease, and looking at all of these different ways to intersect with the information that is already available, and perhaps new data that you will create through this program. It is key that you propose methods to form, maintain, and strengthen governmental, academic, and private partnerships, because we believe that this is so key to driving sustainable, collaborative data science linked to new technologies and solutions. There are so many different areas of data and sources that you can use, but some of them include clinical data, public health, genomics data, imaging data, geospatial data, mobile data, and environmental data, among others. These are some ideas of the data sources that you can be thinking about as you are developing your applications. Key to this, though, is there are so many data sets already available in the African context that are ready and available to leverage. And we encourage you to leverage these data sets and technology and infrastructure wherever feasible. Some broad examples of research that you could look at include multiomics, computational research. You can look into the development and use of shared platforms and leveraging of large health data sets to enable discovery of emergent multimorbid patterns. You're able to also develop or leverage new, novel machine learning, AI, computer vision tools for data analytics, computer-assisted detection and diagnosis or treatment. Another option is to develop or expand informatics tools and statistical methodologies to analyze multidimensional environmental exposure data. Another area that is of interest to many of you, I'm sure, is how we use data science technologies and approaches for behavioral health interventions. I will certainly point you to the funding opportunity announcement, the FOA, for the DSI Africa Research Hubs program, because this is a very short list of many broad opportunities that are available. Very importantly, though, applicants are encouraged to consider unique opportunities for African research within the African context, including extensive genomic diversity, migration and admixture, including diseases and health conditions prevalent on the African continent, perhaps environmental exposures and health-related conditions that are germane to African context, and very importantly, local and regional health priorities to make sure that the questions that we're addressing through our research are important to the context that you're working in across Africa. Again, I will encourage you to see the funding opportunity for many more broad research examples, as well as a link to specific research interests across the NIH institutes, centers, and offices. This is a link within the funding opportunity that will go to the Common Fund DSI Africa website that has much more information about more disease-specific focus areas that are very important to the NIH institutes and centers. Eligibility. It's really important to make sure that you are very aware from early on in the development of your applications who is eligible to be the primary institution. In this case, for this funding opportunity, you must be an African organization, a public or private institution of higher education, or an African nonprofit. That said, you're very encouraged to make broad partnerships and not only encouraged, but required to include at least 2 partners outside the applicant institution, and one of which must be a non-academic African organization. Partnerships, again, drive the success of this program. So we expect that you'll come in with partnerships and they will expand throughout the time of the award. Also importantly, non-domestic, non-US components of US organizations are not eligible to apply. So if you do have more questions about this, we can schedule follow-up calls to discuss in further detail. This award mechanism, as I said in the beginning, is a U54 specialized center cooperative agreement mechanism. And these specialized centers involve multiple projects and cores. And we'll get into a little bit more detail about that next. We plan to fund up to 5 meritorious applications, and these are for a period of up to 5 years. The budgets for these awards must not exceed total costs of $1.3 million US per year. And I say total costs here for a very important reason. Total costs include direct costs and indirect costs. So make sure that you're thinking about that when developing your budgets. More than one application may be submitted by any individual African institution as long as each application is scientifically distinct. Another area of opportunity out of this program is that it's a clinical trial optional program. And NIH defines a clinical trial as a research study in which one or more subjects are prospectively assigned to one or more interventions, which may include a placebo or other control, to evaluate the effects of those interventions on health-related biomedical or behavioral outcomes. And it's important to be thinking about this early on because you'll need to make sure that your application is properly defined as a clinical trial or not. And the NIH grants website has a very helpful tool that goes through 4 questions to help you decide if this is a clinical trial or not, what you're proposing. Does the study involve human participants? Are the participants prospectively assigned to an intervention? Is the study designed to evaluate the effect of the intervention on the participants? And is the effect being evaluated a health-related biomedical or behavioral outcome? If you answer yes to all of these, it is defined as an NIH clinical trial, which involves a little bit of more work and more paperwork, but a lot of opportunity to do some very interesting work through a clinical trial. As I said earlier, the research hubs are a multi-project, multi-core setup. So we require a minimum of 2 research projects to be proposed with your application. One of the research projects must be solution-oriented through the development or adaptation of a new product or new technology that is either needed for the collection of new data types or translates initial data science research into a new health innovation. The other research projects, we have a lot of flexibility to define whether another solution-oriented program or a more basic science related. You're also required to have an administrative core. And the administrative core functions to facilitate and coordinate communications across the research hub, to translate research beyond the research hub, and to form and drive partnerships across not only the research hub and your partner organizations, but also through interactions with the DSI Africa Consortium broadly, and all of the programs that make up the DSI Africa Consortium. Another incredible area of opportunity that is led by the administrative core is to facilitate sub-award support for pilot projects. And this is going to be an important component to take the research that is being developed and take it further, to build more partnerships, and to give more opportunities for early stage investigators or more late stage investigators with a great idea to take their ideas further. And you can read more about this in the funding opportunity. Another core that's required is the data management and analysis core. And this core is so important to support the management, integration, and interoperability of data assets across the hub, which includes the hub research projects and all the pilot projects. This core also serves a very vital part of working with the Open Data Science Platform and Coordinating Center to drive the broad goals of the DSI African Consortium. And you can read more about this within the funding opportunity. You're also allowed to submit opportunities for support cores. And these support cores, while defined as to what they can involve in the funding opportunity, are flexible to meet your needs for the specific research that you would like to propose. Some key dates coming up. There's an optional letter of intent that's due on November 9th, 2020, that will really be helpful for us to determine the best review and how many applications that we're expecting. That is also the earliest submission date of November 9th. Applications are due on December 8th, 2020 at 5 p.m. of the local time of the applicant organization for programs that are non-HIV/AIDS related. If you are proposing research that is HIV/AIDS related, then the AIDS applications due dates are February 8th, 2021 at 5 p.m. of the local time of the applicant organization. Then we'll follow that with a scientific merit review in April or May of 2021. The advisory council review in August of 21 with an earliest start date of September 1st, 2021. I do want to put here the normal criteria for reviewing NIH applications. That said, this is a multi-project, multi-core program. So there are some more caveats that we'd like to go into. But overall, you're judged on the overall impact of your work, the scored criterion, review criteria associated with significance, investigator strength, innovation, approach, and environment, on a scoring system that utilizes our normal NIH 9-point scale from 1 being exceptional to 9 being poor, with very important additional review criteria, including the integration of the research hub, how all the projects in the cores work together with your partners as well to drive very innovative, sustainable research, as well as protections for human subjects, inclusion of women and minorities and children, your resource sharing plans that are very important in a program like this, as you can imagine, and the budget and period of support. As I was saying though, because this is a multi-project center grant, we will be judging at multiple levels during review. First, at the overall level, the overall impact score and criterion scores will be used to judge the entire program that takes into account both the projects and the cores. Second, the research projects. Each project will receive its own impact score and distinct criterion scores. And this is important for you to be able to understand how the review committee viewed your research and any decisions that you need to make to tweak or define new opportunities for your research, depending on whether it was reviewed incredibly well or if there are some areas to work on. Importantly though here, the cores will not receive distinct impact and criterion scores, but the review of all the cores together will inform the overall Research Hub impact score. As a part of the scientific peer review process, all applications may undergo a selection process in which only those applications deemed to have the highest scientific and technical merit will be discussed and assigned an overall impact score. That said, all applications will receive a written critique. And some very important areas that we will be considering when we're making funding decisions beyond availability of funds, beyond the scientific and technical merit of the proposed project determined by scientific peer review, but also its relevance of this project for the goals of the DSI Africa program largely. The relevance of the proposed project to the priorities of the co-funding components associated with the NIH institutes and centers. The commitment that you are making to compliance with the DSI Africa procedures, and also very importantly, consideration of programmatic, geographic, and institutional distribution. And again, we are here to support you for putting together very effective, informed applications that we hope will work to change health in Africa through data science and innovation. I have here my contact information, Brad Newsom at Fogarty, a program officer here, as well as scientific review contacts and grants management contacts as you're piecing together your applications. Also here are really helpful links to if you're having some problems with ERA Commons or grants.gov. This information here is to help you navigate the sometimes complex NIH process. With that, I'll say thank you, and I look forward to talking to you more in the future.
Hello and welcome. I'm Laura Pavlich. I'm a program officer at the Fogarty International Center at the National Institutes of Health. And I'm here to discuss the research training program, which is part of our new DSI Africa program, Harnessing Data Science for Health Discovery and Innovation in Africa. This funding opportunity can be found by searching the term RFA RM 20016. The goals of the research training program in DSI Africa include increasing the institutional capacity to carry out data science, health research, and innovation in Africa through the support of institutional research training cooperative agreement awards. We expect applicants to propose long-term data science health research training through graduate degree, which can include master's or doctoral training, and faculty development. Grantees will train cohorts of African investigators who have the skills to become independent investigators, research leaders, and research collaborators. This funding opportunity is open to organizations both in Africa or the United States. These include higher education institutions and nonprofit institutions other than institutes of higher education. US applicants, however, must demonstrate collaboration with at least one African institution and focus on building institutional capacity in Africa. As with the other funding opportunity announcements, we encourage partnerships with additional organizations, including for-profit and government organizations. And these partnerships are encouraged to provide applied research experiences for trainees. Some of the key dates for this specific FOA, the letter of intent, which is optional, is due on October 23rd, 2020. While it is optional, it's highly encouraged that applicants submit letters of intent because it does help us start preparing for the review of these applications. The earliest submission date is October 23rd, 2020, and applications are due on November 24th, 2020 by 5 p.m. local time of the applicant organization. This particular funding opportunity doesn't have a specific HIV/AIDS application due date, but any applications that do end up containing this content could be submitted during the regular application due date. The scientific merit review will occur in April or May 2021. The advisory council will be in August 2021, and the earliest start date is September 1st, 2021. These research training awards will use a U2R mechanism, which is the International Research Training Cooperative Agreement. The awards are clinical trial optional, which means that the trainees do have the opportunity to potentially engage in clinical trial research. And the definition and more explanation of what that means was provided in my colleague Brad Newsom's presentation on the Research Hub's FOA for this initiative. The budget for this program, or for these awards, must not exceed $350,000 US dollars in total costs per year. And this includes direct costs and 8% indirect cost rate for applicants, which is standard for training awards. The project period is up to 5 years, and we do plan to award up to 4 meritorious applications. Some of the key objectives for a research training program, which really cut across largely generally NIH training programs, is that we expect each program to develop a strong foundation in rigorous research design methods and analytical techniques appropriate for data science, health research, and innovation. The program should enhance the trainees' abilities to conceptualize and think through research problems and the development of novel solutions with increasing independence. The programs should provide experiences for the trainees to conduct research using state-of-the-art data science methods, as well as allowing them to present and publish research findings. There should be opportunity for the trainees to interact with members of the scientific community at appropriate scientific conferences and workshops. And importantly, the trainees should have interdisciplinary experiences that develop data scientists capable of leading and participating in integrative team approaches that address significant health problems in Africa and globally. For the scope and structure of these training programs, we do expect that each application will include plans to develop curriculum in computer science in 3 areas: computer science and informatics, statistics and mathematics, and biomedical science and public health. Awardees will collaborate with the other training program principal investigators toward harmonization of curricula and mapping of curricula onto core competencies. We do allow partnership training models that are, could involve faculty from partner institutions that have specific expertise needed to offer the curriculum or to mentor trainees in research projects. Applicants may initially propose training of individuals in existing master's or doctoral degree programs, either at the applicant or partner institutions, but may not exclusively support trainees in these programs since new capacity should be established. And finally, the program should practice and teach open data science and data sharing. We expect that trainees for these programs will be identified from a variety of scientific backgrounds and should be prepared to enter the training level proposed. Attention should be given to recruiting women, individuals with disabilities from disadvantaged backgrounds, individuals from racial or ethnic groups that are underrepresented in the biomedical, behavioral, and clinical sciences in the African context. All trainees are expected to acquire a core set of knowledge in data science, but their primary application areas may differ. Finally, trainees emerging from these programs should be able to conduct original research at the intersection of computer, statistical, and information sciences with one or more biomedical application, and they should be prepared for research roles in African academic, nonprofit research, government and public health organizations, biomedical companies, and healthcare organizations. The specific funding opportunity has some unique instructions compared to a normal NIH research application. There's a PHS 398 research training program plan form, which has sections including training program, faculty, trainees, and training record, and other training program sections. Applicants will include information in these sections on things such as background, program administration, program faculty, proposed training, training program evaluation, training candidates, and more. Additionally, the review criteria for training programs are also unique compared to traditional NIH grant or research grant. Some of the unique review categories include training program and environment, training program director or principal investigators, preceptors and mentors, trainees, and training record. Some of the FOA specific review questions for this specific funding opportunity include: are appropriate plans in place to ensure that any gaps in faculty expertise at the African institutions are addressed by additional faculty development training during the grant period? Is the future sustainability of the research training program addressed appropriately, including relevant letters of support? And do the preceptors or mentors' expertise collectively cover all the areas that are critical to biomedical data science, such as computer science and informatics, statistics and mathematics, and biomedical sciences and public health? With this, I'd just like to leave you with some contact information, which is also in the funding opportunity announcements and on NIH websites. For this particular funding opportunity, I am the program scientific contact. We have experts that can help in review and grants management, and contact information for the application submission process through ERA Commons and grants.gov. Thank you for listening to this talk, and I really look forward to interacting with all of you through Q&A and learning about your applications. Thanks.
Yeah, welcome. My name is Jay Churchill, and I'm at the National Institute of Mental Health, and today I'm going to tell you a little bit about one of our exciting funding opportunity announcements. So this funding opportunity announcement is specific to the area of ethics. And so the title of this announcement is Harnessing Data Science for Health Discovery and Innovation in Africa, the Ethical, Legal, and Social Implications Research. So a primary goal of this funding announcement is, as I mentioned earlier, to explore the very complex ethical, legal, and social implications, elements associated with data science for health research from an African perspective, and to contribute to the policy discussions of such on the continent. It's expected that these LC research efforts will become fully integrated components of the efforts supported through the related DSI Africa research projects that you will or you have heard more about as well. Such that, and it's really important that these LC projects will establish a framework that can be fully integrated with these other projects as well. The DSI Africa LC awardees will work closely with the other components, as we've talked about, to include the coordinating centers and the research hubs and the training elements as well, in a dynamic way to help address core ethical issues that may arise during the larger research projects, to provide additional opportunities there. Regarding eligibility, applicants are limited to African organizations only. Those include both public and private institutions of higher education and other nonprofits from Africa as well. Proposed partnerships, however, can be with organizations outside of the area to include organizations from other African entities, from the United States or other countries, and nonprofits and government entities as well. Key dates for this funding opportunity announcement are as follows. A letter of intent, which is optional, is due on November 1st of 2020. The earliest point at which somebody can submit an application is November 1st as well. The application due date, this is a critical one, is December 1st of 2020, and that's by 5 p.m. local time for the applicant institution. The review of this via peer review will happen in about April or May of 2021. There will be an advisory council that will convene in August of 2021, and final decisions will be made with an earliest start date of September 1st of 2021. So a few of the key research objectives and goals for this particular funding announcement. First of all, from an idea generation perspective, proposed research projects must identify key LC issues that are broadly relevant to data science from an African perspective. Of interest are projects that are proposed to investigate bioethical, legal, and social science analyses of new or emerging data science issues. And we've provided a list of a very extensive, but certainly not complete list of specific topics in the funding opportunity announcement for you to consider as well. Now, regarding expectations of partnerships and malleability, the research hubs are going to play an absolute key role in collecting a very broad array of data. Some of these are clinical data or public health data, personally generated data, genomic, imaging, geospatial, demographic, behavioral, environmental data, and on and on and on. These hubs may also focus on specific areas of importance for that country or region as well. Likewise, they may be disease focused, they may be data focused, they may be cross-cutting. So as you can see, it's going to be a very broad swath of different types of data and opportunities. So it's incumbent that applicants provide evidence that the proposed LC questions are germane not only to the core issue, data science issues, but that these questions can also be addressed in partnership with the Data Science Africa Research Hubs and the Open Data Science Platform. Regarding award information, this particular funding announcement will use the UO1, which is a cooperative research agreement. And as Laura has indicated in her introductory session to the FOAs, you will have both a project scientist and a program officer for each project. Budgets may not exceed $400,000 a year, that's US dollars, on an annual basis, and that need for those must be justified in the project itself. The scope of the project should not exceed 5 years. Again, that's a 5-year maximum project period, but the scope of the science needs to justify that length as well. We're estimating, given appropriate funds, that we'll make about 4 awards for this period of time as well. Review criteria are really something very important to consider. So in addition to the standard metrics used in peer review, we've got a few additional specific review criteria for these ELSI projects. Some of them include the following. Will the proposed research strengthen the understanding of ELSI, of data science in Africa? Does the project describe strategies for community or stakeholder engagement? Does the application provide a framework by which it's clear that there are plans to rapidly adapt to address evolving ELSI issues that may arise in the research hubs? Is the sustainability of the proposed ELSI effort beyond the funding period appropriately described? And does the institution clearly state its commitment to overcoming administrative obstacles in the implementation of the application goals? Contact information is our next slide. And for this, I would just say, we're here to help. So we have on this slide, we have listed programmatic or scientific contact information, which is myself, James Churchill. We also have review and grants management contact information. All of this information, by the way, is available in the funding announcement opportunity at the very bottom. And we strongly encourage you to reach out. Thank you for your time.
Hello, my name is Dr. Tiffany Bailey Lash, and I am from the National Institute of Biomedical Imaging and Bioengineering. Today, we will discuss the DSI Africa Open Data Science Platform and Coordinating Center with the RFA RM20018. The purpose of the DSI Africa Open Data Science Platform, Core, and Coordinating Center Core has a funding opportunity announcement that speaks to the two components of this DSI Africa initiative. The ODSP Core, for short, develops and maintains a scalable data sharing gateway, and it's available to the research community with access to disparate types of open and controlled access data and tools. The information that will be generated comes from the DSI Africa research hubs, as well as other existing sources. The second component, which is the Coordinating Center Core, provides the organizational framework for the management, direction, and overall coordination of all of the common DSI Africa Consortium activities. So who is eligible for these applications, to submit applications to the DSI Africa initiative, particularly for the OSDP as well as the Coordinating Center? Applicants are limited to the following African organizations: African public state controlled institutions of higher education, African private institutions of higher education, as well as African nonprofits other than institutions of higher education. The proposed multi-sectoral partnerships with organizations outside the applicant institution are highly encouraged, and it can include types of organizations within Africa, the United States, or other countries, including for-profit and government entities. Key dates for this initiative include the letter of intent, which is optional, can be submitted November 3rd, 2020. However, the open date or the earliest submission date will be November 3rd, 2020. Their applications are also due on December 3rd, 2020. This should be submitted by 5:00 p.m., the local time of the applicant organization. We are not accepting delayed applications for AIDS application due dates. The actual scientific merit review will be in April or May of 2021. It will then go to the Advisory Council for review in August 2021, with the earliest start date of September 1st, 2021. I'm going to turn it over to my colleague Ishwar, who will go into details about the Open Data Science Platform, ODSP.
My name is Ishwar Chandramauleeshwaran. and I am with the Allergy and Infectious Diseases, and I'll speak a little bit about the research objectives of what we envision this platform to be. The Open Data Science platform is intended to be a software solution that will primarily allow us discovery of the data sets that could be collectively harnessed with the aim of democratizing the data itself and implementing that through FAIR principles. Stepping through some of the key objectives, the architecture of the proposed platform is intended to be open, modular, standards-based, and community-driven. The platform itself must have the ability to search and browse federated data within and across relevant studies generated by the research hubs with a focus on supporting common use cases and scientific questions. The platform must provide a user workspace to store, manage, compute on, and share users' data that they bring, along with other data that may be available in the platform itself or accessible in the platform, more importantly, with collaborators and sharing that with a larger research community. The platform must provide plans for a sustainable cost model for storage and computes by users, must have metrics that focus both on the usage as well as performance of the system itself. And last but certainly not the least, must address data security and privacy as relevant, including international standards for that have ethical, legal, and social implications of the data itself. In addition, the platform core team will address the following components. The first one being provide training and help desk services associated with understanding the applications and the capabilities of the platform to access the data and perform computing on them. Serve a diverse user base that span from traditional biologists, informaticists and data scientists, engineers, and tool developers as well. And finally, engage in consortium collaborations across all of the DSI awardees. The review criteria are specific for the platform. And as Tiffany mentioned, there's two distinct cores over here. And in addition to the standard review criteria and evaluation metrics that that apply to all of the applications, there are certain specific ones on which we will place an emphasis as these applications are reviewed. And the questions that revolve around those are, is the platform solution to be developed likely to truly provide value to the DSI Africa consortium as a whole? Does the application proposed innovative technical approaches, features, and capabilities to support the needs of the research community? Will the platform technology stack and associated tools and features conform to FAIR principles, which primarily stands for findable, accessible, and interoperable, as well as reusable data, tools, and standards made available to the platform? Are the plans in the application include incorporating new and scientific technology advances to support efficient and cost-effective data sharing, access, and computing? Do the development plans for the platform include obtaining input from potential end users? At the end of the day, we want to build a community and foster that community, and so getting that end user input is absolutely vital. And last but not the least, is a plan for sustainability feasible for the long haul? And now I'll pass the baton back to Tiffany to share a little bit about the sister component of this application itself, the Coordinating Center.
Thank you, Ishwar. So now we'll discuss the Coordinating Center. The purpose of the Coordinating Center is to provide the organizational framework for the management, direction, and overall coordination of all common DSI Africa activities. There are 5 activities that fall within the Coordinating Center scope. The first, we would like the Coordinating Center to assist in the development and implementation of DSI Africa certain policies, procedures under the guidance of the steering committee. We also see the Coordinating Center planning the biannual meetings and also managing those as well. The Coordinating Center coordinates functions of the DSI Africa Steering Committee and working groups, the DSI Africa Independent Expert Committee, as well as interactions between DSI Africa program and outside parties. We see the Coordinating Center manage and tracking cross-consortium collaborations and enable opportunities for team science and trainee exchanges. We also see the Coordinating Center developing and maintaining effective communications among participants in all DSI Africa elements, the working groups, the steering committee, external advisory committee, as well as DSI Africa staff and external stakeholders. We do see the Coordinating Center collaborating with the ODSP and other consortium awardees, implementing in-person and online short courses, workshops, and hackathons. We do see the Coordinating Center also developing and maintaining DSI Africa website, the DSI Africa website. This is jointly with the ODSP to function both as an internal resource for the storage and exchange of all DSI Africa documents, and as the interface between DSI Africa and the broader scientific community, and between DSI Africa and the public. There's also we see the applicants, they may propose other administrative and coordinating tasks as well for the DSI Africa Coordinating Center that will contribute to the achievement of the objectives of this funding opportunity announcement. So what will we be reviewing? In addition to standard metrics used for peer review evaluation, we also would like the applicant to address certain questions such as these below. Will the proposed Coordinating Center contribute to the successful operation of DSI Africa Consortium? And will it bring unique advantages to the capabilities to the consortium? Do the applicants show evidence of being able to manage and coordinate a complex consortium on an international scale? Does the applicant propose innovative coordinating plans and administrative solutions? Are the plans and approaches well-reasoned and appropriate for disseminating advances, developing and disseminating educational resources, and developing outreach and community engagement strategies for the DSI Africa Consortium? Are the proposed metrics to assess the utilization of the Coordinating Center and its impact on the DSI Africa Consortium adequate? Are the institutional support, equipment, and other physical resources available to the investigators adequate for the Coordinating Center proposed? So this is a unique mechanism that will be used for this particular FOA. It's called a U2C mechanism, which supports multiple components across multiple institutions, ODSP and clinical center cores requiring distinct skills and expertise. The technology stack development, help desk, training, team science, consortium, coordination, and management. As far as the award information, the U2C, we plan to award one grantee with the award budget which is limited to $2,250,000 total cost per year. The award project period involves the maximum project period, which will be 5 years. We're happy to provide any additional information that you may need. And here we have the contact information for all the program's scientific contacts, the review and grants management, as well as how you can submit your application. I serve as the programmatic and scientific program officer for the initiative. And we also have 2 scientific review officials and 1 grants management contact that will provide information if you'd like to learn more about the review and the grants pertaining to this funding opportunity announcement, as well as you can see here how to get help with if you have any questions about submissions. There's also customer support, and you can reach out to grants info via telephone or email. Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us for this funding opportunity announcement overview, where we discussed the 4 funding opportunities that were released for the DSI Africa program. We really look forward to interacting with all of you in the FOA interactive sessions coming up that will involve Q&A and some really important and we hope helpful breakout sessions. We'll also open to talking with all of you through the office hours that will be scheduled later in the symposium and through individual consultations.